Hey, good evening, USA, Canada, worldwide, all over Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, misunderstood lonely nomad, YouTuber, creator, the unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you're rocking with Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show, episode 65. In today's episode, we're gonna be going over not only movies, but mostly, TV shows. And today's episode is going to be all about Batman. We're live and direct from StreamYard, YouTube, and alongside with the Instagram live feed. Make sure you turn your notifications on Instagram so you don't miss a beat. Now, if you miss any previous episodes, don't worry, I got you back though. So, of course, make sure you go to the YouTube channel of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast review show so you can actually tap that noti bell so you don't miss out on the time and when the show goes in the air via live stream. Also, leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topics that's being discussed as far as music artists, TV shows, movies, games and stuff that's gonna be reviewed and stuff. So and I'll go over everything at the end of the show. So don't worry. I got y'all. Now, as far as mental health is concerned, I am doing okay mentally, physically, and spiritually so far. So, yeah. Other than that, let's get started on a little thing that I like to call. Hold on a sec. Wait a minute here. That I like to call the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. Here we go. Let me just get that. All right. Our first film we're going to be reviewing in honor of Batman, and of course, the first one is Batman Returns, which is a 1992 American superhero. Hang on a minute. Which is a 1992 American superhero film directed by Tim Burton and produced by Denise D. Novi and Burton, based on the DC Comics character Batman by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. It is the sequel to the 1989 film Batman. It is the second installment of Warner Bros. Initial Batman film series and stars Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman, alongside Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken, Michael Goh, Pat Hingo, Michael Murphy, and Vincent Schiavelli. In Batman Returns, Batman faces the Penguin who plots to kill all of Gotham City's firstborn sons while dealing with Max Schreck, a corrupt tycoon who allies with the Penguin to bring Gotham City under his control, and Catwoman who seeks vengeance against Schreck. Um, okay, so let's see. So Burton originally did not want to direct another Batman film. Warner Brothers developed a script with Sam Hamm, which had the Penguin and Catwoman going after hidden treasure. Burton agreed to return after they granted him more creative control and replaced Hamm with Daniel Waters. Wesley Strick was later chosen to update the final screenplay shortly before filming. This included normalizing dialogue, fleshing out the Penguin's motivations and master plan, and removing scenes due to budget concerns. Strick continued working as the on-set writer through filming, Annette Bening was originally cast as Catwoman, but became pregnant and was replaced with Pfeiffer. Batman Returns was released on June 19th, 1992. It grossed 266. Let me just get that right. $266.8 million worldwide on a total budget of $80 million and received positive reviews. Critics praised its action sequences, performances, Danny Elfman's score, effects, and villains, but its PG-13 rating was criticized due to the dark tone and violence. The film was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, Best Visual Effects and Best Makeup, as well as 2 um, BAFTA Awards. A standalone sequel, Batman Forever, was released in 1995, which I'll review next. With Val Kilmer replacing Keaton as Batman. The first issue of an alternate comic book continuation titled Batman '89, which ignores the events of the subsequent films, um, was set to be published by DC Comics on July 27, 2021, before being delayed to a simultaneous digital and physical release for August 10th, 2021. Um, Keaton is set to reprise the role of Batman in the DC Extended Universe in Batgirl 2022 and The Flash 2023, both of which pick up directly from Batman Returns and disregard the events of the 2 Schumacher films that originally followed it. All right. All right, we're gonna get into. Hang on a second. Yeah. Hold on. 1 second. So, yeah, let's get to the box office. Okay, the Batman Returns was released in America on June 19th, 1992. It grossed $2 million from Thursday night previews before grossing $45.69 million in 2,644 theaters on its opening weekend. This was the highest opening weekend in 1992 and the highest opening weekend of any film up to that point. The film also set the opening weekend in the United Kingdom with a gross of $2,774,796. It was the first film in the UK to gross 1 million in a day. Saturday, July 11th. The film went on to gross $162.9 million in the United States and Canada and $104.0 million in foreign countries, coming to a worldwide total of $266.9 million. Batman Returns was the 3rd highest grossing film in America of 1992 and 6th highest in worldwide totals. Critical response. Though criticized by some for being too dark and violent, Batman Returns received mostly positive reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 80% based on 83 reviews, with an average rating of 6.73 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads: Director Tim Burton's dark, brooding atmosphere, Michael Keaton's work as the tormented hero, and the flawless casting of Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Christopher Walken as well. Christopher Walken make the sequel better than the first. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A+ to F scale. Janet Maslin in the New York Times thought that Mr. Burton creates a wicked world of misfits. all of them rendered with the mixture of horror, sympathy, and playfulness that has become this director's hallmark. She described Michael Keaton as showing appropriate earnestness, Danny DeVito as conveying verb, Christopher Walken as wonderfully debonair, Michelle Pfeiffer as captivating, fierce, seductive, Bo Welch's production design as dazzling, Stefan Zapsky cinematography as crisp, and Daniel Waters' screenplay as sharp. Hold on a second. All right. Peter Travers in Rolling Stones wrote, Burton uses the summer's most explosively entertaining movie to lead us back into the liberating darkness of dreams. He praised the performances. Pfeiffer gives this feminist adventure a tough core of intelligence and wit. She's a classic dazzler. Michael Keaton's manic depressive hero remains a remarkably rich creation. And Danny DeVito's mutant penguin, a balloon belled Richard III, with a kingdom of sewer freaks, is as hilariously, excuse me, warped as Jack Nicholson's Joker, and even quicker with the quips. Desson Howe, in the Washington Post wrote, end quote, director Burton not only recreates his one of a kind atmosphere, he one ups it, even two ups it. He's the best at evoking the psycho murky worlds in which his characters reside. The penguin holds court in a penguin crowded Phantom of the Opera like sewer home. Keaton hides in a castle like mansion, which perfectly mirrors its owner's inner remoteness. Comic strip purists will probably never be happy with a Batman movie, but Returns comes closer than ever to Bob Kane's dark original strip, which began in 1939. He described Walken as engaging, DeVito as exquisite, and Pfeiffer as deliciously purry. Weird but okay. Tom McCarthy in Variety wrote that the real accomplishment of the film lies in the amazing physical realization of an imaginative universe where Burton's ideas and those of his collaborators begin is impossible to know, but the result is a seamless, utterly consistent universe full of nasty notions about societal deterioration, greed, and other base impulses. He praised the contributions of Stan Winston, Danny Elfman, Bo Welch, and cinematographer Stefan Zapsky. And in terms of performances, opined that the deck is stacked entirely in favor of the villains, calling DeVito fascinating and Pfeiffer very tasty. Conversely, Roger Ebert, I'm sorry about that. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2 stars out of 4, writing, hold on a sec. I give the movie a negative review, and yet I don't think it's a bad movie. It's more misguided, made with great creativity, but denying us what we more or less deserve from a Batman story. No matter how hard you try, superheroes and film noir don't go together. The very essence of noir is that there are no more heroes. He compared the Penguin negatively with the Joker of the first film. writing that the penguin is a curiously meager and depressing creature. I pitied him, but did not fear him or find him funny. Um, the genius of Danny DeVito is all but swallowed up in the paraphernalia of the role. Jonathan Rosenbaum called DeVito a pale substitute for Jack Nicholson from the first film and felt that there's no suspense in Batman Returns whatsoever. Damn. Batman comic book artist Alex Ross was quoted as saying they made up a fictional character that's not in Batman's universe, and suddenly he becomes the most exciting character in the film. Well, sorry, but that's what you get when you cast Christopher Walken in a role. Ty Burr in Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B minus. He wrote that Burton still hasn't figured out how to tell a coherent story. He's more interested in fashioning pretty beads than in putting them on a string. Yet, for all the wintry weirdness, there's more going on under the surface of this movie than in the original. No wonder some people felt burned by Batman Returns. Tim Burton just may have created the first blockbuster art film. A parental backlash criticized Batman Returns with violence and sexual references that were inappropriate for children, despite being given a PG-13 rating by the Motion Picture Association. McDonald's shut down their Happy Meal production for the film. Burton responded, I like Batman Returns better than the first one. There was this big backlash that it was too dark, but I found this movie much less dark. Okay, so accolades. Academy Awards. So this is for best visual effects, best makeup, best makeup artist. So um and we have Michael L. Fink, Craig Barron, John Bruno, Dennis Skotak, V. Nelly, V. Nell, Ronnie Spector, Stan Winston, V. Nell, Stan Winston, British Academy Film Awards, Best Special Effects, Michael L. Fink, Craig Barron, John Bruno, and Dennis Skotak. BMI Film and TV Awards. BMI Film Music Award. Danny Elfman is the winner for that one. Golden Raspberry Awards. Oh man, worst supporting actor Danny DeVito. Hugo Awards, Best Dramatic Presentation. Nominated. Best Kiss. Some MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss, Best Villain, Most Desirable Female. Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer. Um, Best Fantasy Film, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor. Um, Tim Burton and Danny DeVito all got nominations. Saturn Awards, Best Makeup, Stan Winston, V. Nell are the winners. Best Costume, Bob Ringwood, Mary Eve Vogt, Vin Burn Vin Burnham. Best DVD Collection, Best Sound Design, Best Art Direction. Um, 2020 Awards, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup. Okay, Bo Welch, Bob Ringwood, Mary E. Vogt, and Vin Burnham. Um, Golden Schmoes Awards. Wow. Best DVD Blu-ray of the year. Um, International Film Music Critics Award, Best Archival Release of an Existing Score. Italian National Syndicate of the Film Journalist, Best Foreign Director, Kids Choice Awards, Favorite Movie Actress. So it goes Danny Elfman, Tim Burton, and Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay. I'm not even gonna really. Okay, so I'm not even gonna really get into all of that right there. So, all right. So our next movie is Batman Forever. Okay, let me get some water real quick, folks. Just give me a sec. Okay, so okay, Batman Forever is a 1995 American superhero film directed by Joel Schumacher and produced by Tim Burton, based on the DC Comics character Batman by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. The third installment of Warner Brothers' initial film series is a sequel to Batman Returns, starring Val Kilmer and replacing Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman, alongside Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, Nicole Kidman, Chris O'Donnell, Michael Goat, and Pat Hingo. The plot focuses on Batman trying to stop Two-Face and the Riddler in their scheme to extract information from all the minds in Gotham City while adopting an orphan acrobat named Dick Grayson, who becomes his sidekick Robin and developing feelings for psychologist Dr. Chase Meriden. Okay. Um okay, so yes, here we go. So Schumacher mostly eschewed the dark dystopian. So hold on. The budget is 100 million. And the box office it made $336.6 million. Schumacher mostly eschewed the dark dystopian atmosphere of Burton's films by drawing inspiration from the Batman comic books of the Dick Spring era, as well as the 1960 television series, but without the campiness of the next film. Batman's alter ego, Bruce Wayne, is much more prominent in the film. And like the Batman animated series, he is known to be actively involved in the management of Wayne Enterprises. After Keaton chose not to reprise his role, William Baldwin and Ethan Hawke were considered as a replacement before Val Kilmer joined the cast. Batman Forever was released on June 16th, 1995, to mixed reviews from critics who praised the cinematography, music, action sequences, and performances of Carey and Jones, but criticized the CGI costumes design and tonal departure from previous films. The film was a box office success, grossing over $336 million worldwide and became the sixth highest grossing film worldwide of 1995. It was followed by Batman and Robin, which I will review next, in 1997, with Schumacher returning as the director, Chris O'Donnell returning as Robin, and George Clooney replacing Kilmer as Batman. Okay, obviously, um, the hold on a minute here. Hold on. Hold on a minute here. Now, here's the reception. Um, Box office Okay, Batman Forever opened in a record 2,842 theaters and 4,300 screens in the United States and Canada on June 16th, 1995, grossing $52.8 million um, in its opening weekend, breaking Jurassic Park's record for highest opening weekend gross of all time. It was surpassed 2 years later by the Lost World Jurassic Park's $72.1 million. Um, for 6 years, it had the largest opening weekend for a Warner Brothers film until 2001, when it was surpassed by Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It was the first film to gross 20 million in one day on its opening day on Friday. It grossed 77.4 million in its first week, which was below the record 81.7 million set by Jurassic Park. Additionally, the film held the record for having the highest opening weekend for a superhero film until it was taken by X-Men in 2000. That year, How the Grinch Stole Christmas took Batman Forever's record for scoring the biggest opening weekend for any film starring Jim Carrey. The film started its international rollout in Japan on June 17th, 1995, and grossed 2.2 million in 5 days from 167 screens, which was only 80% of the gross of its predecessor, Batman Returns. The film went on to gross $184 million in the United States and Canada and $152.5 million in other countries, totaling 336.53 million dollars. The film grossed more than Batman Returns, and it's the highest grossing film from 1995 in the United States. All right, so critical response. On Rotten Tomatoes, Batman Forever has an approval rating of 38%, based on 68 reviews. The site's critical consensus reads loud, excessively busy, and often boring. Batman Forever nonetheless has the charisma of Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones to offer, excuse me, mild relief. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 51 out of 100 based on 23 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by Cinema Score gave the film an average grade of A minus and wait, A minus on an A plus to F scale. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone wrote in quote, Batman Forever still gets in its licks. There's no fun machine this summer that packs more surprises. Travers criticized the film's excessive commercialism, uh, and felt that the script misses the pain Tim Burton caught in a man tormented by the long ago murder of his parents, but praised Kilmer's performance as having a definitely understated, comic edge. James Boradinelli of Real Views enjoyed the film, writing in quote, "It's lighter, brighter, funnier, faster paced, and a whole lot more colorful than before." On brighter, hold on the television program Cisco and Ebert, Gene Cisco of the Chicago Tribune and Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times both gave the film mixed reviews, but with the former giving it a thumbs up and the latter a thumbs down. In his written bubblegum, no, written bubblegum for the eyes. Younger children will be able to process it more easily. Some kids were led bawling from Batman Returns, where the PG-13 rating was a joke. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle had a mixed reaction, concluding a shot of Kilmer's rubber buns at one point is guaranteed to bring sequels from the audience. Brian Lowry of Variety believed one does have to question the logic behind adding nipples to the hard rubber bat suit. Damn. Um, whose idea was that supposed to be anyway? Alfred's. Some of the computer generated Gotham cityscapes appeared too obviously fake. Elliot Goldenthal's score, while serviceable, also isn't as stirring as Danny Elfman's work in the first two films. In 2005, in an interview with the fan website Batman on Film, Scott Beatty, a comic book writer, felt Tommy Lee Jones played Harvey Dent as a Joker knockoff rather than a multi-layered rogue. Some observers thought Schumacher, a gay man, added possible homoerotic innuendo in the storyline. Regarding the costume design, Schumacher stated, "I had no idea that putting nipples on the batsuit and Robin's suit were going to spark international headlines. The bodies of the suits come from ancient Greek statues, which display perfect bodies. They are ana- anatomically correct." O'Donnell felt it was so much the nipples that bothered me. It was the codpiece. The press obviously played it up and made it a big deal, especially with Joe directing. I didn't think twice about the controversy, but going back and looking and seeing some of the pictures, it was very unusual. All right, accolades. At the 68 Academy Awards, Batman Forever was nominated for cinematography. Of course, it lost to Braveheart. Sound, um, Donald O. Mitchell, Frank A. Matano, Michael um, Herbig, and Peter Hledo. Lost to Apollo 13, and sound effects of editing John Levesque, 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 um, let's see, and Bruce Stambler. Also lost to Braveheart. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by YouTube was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. Lost to Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas, but also was also nominated for the Worst Original Song Golden Raspberry Award. Damn. Damn, man. Yeah, lost. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, Golden Raspberry Award lost to Walk in the Wind from Showgirls. At the Saturn Awards, the film was nominated for Best Fantasy Film, lost to Babe. Ooh. Makeup lost to Seven. Special effects lost to Jumanji. And costume design lost to 12 Monkeys. Damn. Composer um Elliot Goldenthal was given a Grammy Award nomination. Batman Forever received 6 nominations at the 1996 MTV Movie Awards, 4 of which were divided between two categories: Carrie and Lee Jones for Best Villain, and Seal's Kiss from a Rose, and U2's Hold Me in Best Song from a Movie. However, it won in just one category: Best Song from a Movie for Seal's Kiss from a Rose. Ah, boy. I'm not going to really go into the legacy here, so let's just not go there. All right, so, um, Batman and Robin. Yes, Batman and Robin is a 1997 American superhero movie based on the DC Comics characters Batman and Robin by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. It is the fourth and final installment of Warner Brothers' initials Batman film series, a sequel to Batman Forever, and the only film in the series made without the involvement of Tim Burton in any capacity. Oh boy. Um. Okay, so it. Okay, so the cast goes Arnold Schwarzenegger, George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, Uma Thurman, Alicia Silverstone, Michael Gough, Pat Hingle, and Al McPherson. The budget was 125 to 160 million. And the box office, it made $238.2 million. Directed by Joel Schumacher and written by Goldsman. It stars George Clooney as Bruce Wayne and Batman, replacing Val Kilmer, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Victor Fries. Sorry about that. Hold on. Hold on about that. Sorry. Sorry about that. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Victor Fries, Mr. Freeze. Yeah, Chris O'Donnell, reprising his role as Dick Grayson, and Robin alongside Uma Thurman, Alicia Silverstone, Michael Gough, Pat Hingle, and Elle McPherson. The film follows the titular characters as they attempt to prevent Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy from taking over the world, while at the same time struggling to keep their partnership together. It is also the first live action film appearance of Batgirl, portrayed by Silverstone, who helps the title characters fight the villains. Warner Brothers fast tracked on development for Batman and Robin following the box office success of Batman Forever. Schumacher and Goldsman conceived the storyline during pre-production on A Time to Kill, while Val Kilmer decided not to reprise the role over scheduling conflicts with The Saint. Schumacher had a strong interest in casting William Baldwin in Kilmer's place before George Clooney won the role. Principal photography began in September 1996 and wrapped in January 1997, 2 weeks ahead of the shooting schedule. Batman and Robin premiered in Los Angeles on June 12th, 1987, and went into general release on June 20th, making $238.2 million worldwide against the production budget of 125 to 160 million dollars. The film was a box office disappointment and received negative reviews, often considered to be one of the worst films ever made. It is also the lowest grossing live action Batman film to date. One of the songs recorded for the film, "The End is the Beginning," um, the end is the beginning is the end by the Smashing Pumpkins won a Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance at the 40th Annual Grammy Awards. Due to poor reception, Warner Brothers canceled future Batman films, including Schumacher's planned Batman Unchained, and rebooted the film series with Batman Begins, which I will review next. Now we go to the reception. Okay, the box office. Batman and Robin was released on June 20th, 1997 in North America, earning 42,872,605 dollars in its opening weekend, making it the third highest opening weekend of 1997, behind Men in Black, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Um, it would hold the record for having the highest opening weekend for an Arnold Schwarzenegger film until it was surpassed by Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines in 2003. The film declined by 63% in its second week. Batman and Robin faced early competition with Face Off, Hercules, and Men in Black. Schumacher blamed it on yellow journalism started by Harry Knowles of It Ain't Cool News and other film websites such as Dark Horizons. The film went on to gross $107.3 million in North America and 130.9 million dollars internationally, coming to a worldwide total of $238.2 million. Warner Brothers acknowledged Batman and Robin's shortcomings in the domestic market, but pointed out success in other markets. Critical response: Batman and Robin would go down in history as one of the worst superhero films of all time. On review aggregation Rotten Tomatoes, Batman and Robin has an approval rating of 12% based on 93 reviews, with an average rating of 3.8 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads: Joel Schumacher's tongue-in-cheek attitude hits an unbearable limit in Batman and Robin, resulting in a frantic and mindless movie that's too jokey to care much for. On Metacritic, the film has an average score of 28 out of 100 based on reviews from 21 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of C plus on an A plus to F scale. Schumacher and producer Peter McGregor Scott blamed the negative reception of Batman and Robin on Warner Brothers' decision to fast track production. There was a lot of pressure from Warner Brothers to make Batman and Robin more family friendly. Schumacher explained, "We decided to do a less depressing Batman movie and less torture and more heroic. I know I have been criticized a lot for this, but I didn't see the harm in that approach at all." Upon the film received near unanimous negative reviews, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times criticized the toyetic approach and Mr. Freeze's one-liner jokes in his thumbs down review of the film. Ebert's partner Gene Siskel, who gave positive reviews to the previous Batman film, also gave this film a thumbs down. It was the last Batman movie he reviewed before his death in 1999. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times believed the film killed the Batman film series. Destin Howe of the Washington Post disapproved of Schumacher's direction and Goldsman script, as well as the returning costume design from the first film. Mick LaSalle, writing in the San Francisco Chronicle, said George Clooney is the big zero of the film and should go down in history as the George Lazenby of the series. However, Janet Maslin of the New York Times gave a more positive review and praised Uma Thurman's performance. Andrew Johnston, writing in Time Out New York, remarked, "It's hard to tell who B&R is intended for. Anyone who knows the character from the comics or the superb animated show on Fox will be alienated. And though Schumacher treats the Adam West version as gospel, that show's campy humor is completely incompatible with these production values." Many observers thought Schumacher added possible homoerotic innuendo in the storyline. James Barad hold up. Baradinelli questioned the random amount sick of rubber nipples and camera angle close-ups of the dynamic duo's butts and back crouches. Similar to Batman Forever, this primarily included the decision to the nipples and enlarged on cod pieces. Excuse me. Yeah, cod pieces to the Batman and Robin suits. Schumacher stated, "I had no idea that putting nipples on the bat suit and Robin suit were going to spark international headlines. The bodies of the suits come from ancient Greek statues, which displays perfect bodies. They are anatom- anatomically correct. Chris O'Donnell, it was the copies. The press obviously played it up and made it a big deal, especially with Joe directing. I didn't think twice about the controversy, but um going back and looking and seeing um some of the pictures, it was very unusual. Clooney himself spoken critically of the film, saying in 2005, I think we might have killed the franchise, and called it a waste of money. In 2015, while promoting Disney's Tomorrowland at New York Comic Con, Clooney said that he had met former Batman actor Adam West and apologized to him. Furthermore, when asked during a 2015 interview on the Graham Norton show about whether he had ever had to apologize for Batman and Robin, Clooney responded, I always apologize for Batman and Robin. In his book, Batman, The Complete History, Les Daniels analyzed the film's relatively strong performance internationally. Nuances of languages or personality were likely to be lost in translation, and admittedly, eye popping spectacles seemed sufficient. Okay, accolades. Batman and Robin was nominated for the Saturn Award for Best Fantasy Film as well as Best Makeup and Best Costume. Alicia Silverstone won the Razzie Award for the Worst Supporting Actor. Oh no, Worst Supporting Actress. Damn. Other nominations at the Razzie Awards include Schumacher, Worst Director, George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell, Worst Screen Couple, Akiva Goldsman, Worst Screenplay, both Chris O'Donnell and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Worst Supporting Actor, Uma Thurman, Worst Supporting Actress, as well as Billy Corgan, Worst Song for The End is the Beginning is the End. Batman and Robin also received nominations for Worst Picture, Worst Remake or Sequel, and worst, reckless disregard for human life and public property. Ultimately, out of 11 nominations, Batman and Robin garnered only one Razzie Award. um, at the Stinkers Movie Awards, the film garnered 5 nominations, of which it won 4. Worst Picture, Worst Director, Joe Schumacher, Worst Supporting Actress, Alicia Silverstone, and the Worst Screenplay for a film grossing more than 100 million dollars worldwide using Hollywood math. However, it it it, it lost worst sequel to Speed 2 Cruise Control. Later, the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards unveiled their 100 Stinkers list, which honored the 100 worst films of the 20th century. Batman and Robin managed to rank as the number 3 worst film of the century, behind Wild Wild West at number 2 and Battlefield Earth at number 1. God damn. God damn. Hold on. I think I know something for this, man. Hold on. Okay. Up next is Batman Begins. I had to do it though, man. That's crazy though. Um, yeah, Batman Begins is it's a 2005 superhero film directed by Christopher Nolan and written by Nolan and David S. Goyer, based on the DC Comics character Batman. It stars Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne slash Batman, with Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Gary Oldman, Cillian Murphy, Tom Wilkinson, uh, Rutger Howard, Ken Watanabe. What? Watanabe, excuse me, and Morgan Freeman in supporting roles. The film reboots the Batman film series, telling the origin story of Bruce Wayne from the death of his parents to his journey to become Batman and his fight to stop Ross Al Ghul and the Scarecrow from plunging Gotham City into chaos. Um, yes, there it is. Um, yes, so the budget was $150 million. The box office it made 373.7 million dollars. Um, hang on. Nolan and Goyer began development on the film in early 2003, aiming for a darker, more realistic tone compared to the previous films. A primary goal for their vision was to engage the audience's emotional investment in both the Batman and Bruce Wayne identities of the lead character. The film, which was principally shot in the United Kingdom, Iceland, and Chicago, relied heavily on traditional stunts and miniature effects, with computer generated imagery being used in a minimum capacity compared to other action films. Um, Comic book storylines such as The Man Who Falls, Batman Year One, and Batman The Long Halloween served as inspiration. Batman Begins premiered in Tokyo on May 31st, 2005. It began, no, excuse me, it opened in on June 15th, 2005 in the United States in 3,858 theaters. Um, it began over $48 million in its opening weekend in North America, eventually grossing over $371.9 million worldwide and becoming the ninth highest grossing film of 2005. The film was met with largely positive reviews, with praise for the tone, Bale's performance, action sequences, score direction, and the emotional weight compared to previous Batman films. Batman Begins was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Cinematography, um, and has often been cited as one of the most influential films of the 2000s. It was followed by The Dark Knight, which I'll get to next, and The Dark Knight Rises, with the three films constituting the Dark Knight trilogy. Let's see. Okay, now we go to the reception. Critical response. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gives Batman Begins an approval rating of 84% of 288 reviews, with an average rating of 7.7 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads brooding and dark, but also exciting and smart. Batman Begins is a film that understands the essence of one of the definitive um, superheroes. At Metacritic, which assigns a weighted mean rating review, the film received an average score of 70 out of 100 based on 41 critics, which indicates generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale. Um, James Baradinelli applauded Nolan and Goyer's work in creating more understanding into who Batman is and what motivates him, something Baradinelli felt Tim Burton's film had lacked. At the same time, Baradinelli felt the romantic aspect between Bale and Holmes did not work because the actors lacked the chemistry. Christopher Reeves and Margot Kidder, Superman, or Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst, Spider-Man, shared in their respective roles. According to Total Film, Nolan manages to create such strong characters and such and story that the third action sequences cannot compare to Frisson of two people talking and Katie Holmes and Christian Bale's romantic subplot has a spark refreshingly free of Peter Parker, Mary Jane style whining. Los Angeles Times Kenneth Turan, who felt the film, began slowly stating that the story, psychology, and reality, not special effects, assisted the darkness behind Batman's arsenal. He noted that Neeson and Holmes, unlike Bale's ability to feel his role in his bones, do not appear to fit their respective characters in being both comic book um, archetypes and real people. The New Yorkers, Dan, no, excuse me, David Denby did not share Borodinelli and Tehran's opinion. He was unimpressed with the film when comparing it to the two Tim Burton films, and that Christian Bale's presence was hindered by the dull earnestness of the screenplay. The final climax was cheesy and unexciting, and that Nolan had resorted to in, imitating the fakery used by other filmmakers when filming action sequences. Wilmington, excuse me, of the Chicago Tribune believed Nolan and Goyer managed to comfortably mix the tormented drama and revenge motives with light-hearted gags and comic book allusions, and that Nolan takes the series out of the slam bang Hollywood joke fest the franchise had drifted into. Comic book scribe and editor Dennis O'Neil stated that he felt the filmmakers really understood the character they were translating, citing this film as the best of the live action Batman films. In contrast, J.R. Jones from the Chicago Reader criticized the script and Nolan and David Goyer for not living up to the hype about exploring Batman's damaged psyche. Um, Roger Ebert, who gave mixed reviews to the previous films and claimed in his review for Batman Returns that he did not believe nor worked in superhero films, wrote, "This was the Batman movie I've been waiting for. More correctly, this is the movie I did not realize I was waiting for." Giving it 4 out of 4 stars, he commended the realistic portrayals of the Batman arsenal, the Batsuit, the Batcave, Tumblr, and the Bat Signal, as well as the focus on the story and character, and less stress on high tech action. Like Borodinelli, USA Today's Mike Clark thought Bale performed the role of Batman as well as he did Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, but that the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Rachel Dawes was frustratingly underdeveloped. Kyle Smith thought Bale exhibited both the menace and the wit he showed in his brilliant turn in American Psycho, and that the film works so well because of the realism, stating Batman starts stripping away each layer of Gotham crime only to discover a sicker and more monstrous evil beneath. His rancid city simultaneously invokes early 90s New York when criminals frolicked to the tune of 5 murders a day. Serpico, New York, when cops were for sale, and today when cycles seek to kill us all at once rather than one by one. In contrast, Salon.com's Stephanie Zakaric felt Nolan did not deliver the emotional depth, especially of one of the most soulful and tortured superheroes of all. She thought Bale, unlike Michael Keaton, who she compared him to, failed to connect with the audience underneath the mask. But that Gary Oldman succeeded in emotional complexity where the rest of the movie failed. The film director, Tim Burton, who had directed the 1989 Batman film and his first sequel, felt Nolan captured the real spirit that these kinds of movies are supposed to have nowadays. When I did Batman 20 years ago in 1988 or something, it was a different time in comic book movies. You couldn't go into the dark side of comics yet. The last couple of years that has become acceptable, and Nolan certainly got more to the root of what the Batman comics are about. Okay, all right, so we go to the accolades. Okay, so accolades: Academy Awards, Art Directors Guild Awards, um, BAFTA Awards, and Costume Designers Guild Awards. Okay, so Best Cinematography, Wally Feister. Best Production Design for a Fantasy or Period Film, Nathan Crowley. Best Production Design, Nathan Crowley. Best Sound, Best Achievement in Special Visual Effects. Um, Best Costume Design for a Fantasy Film, Lindy Hemming got a nomination. Best Fantasy Film um, is the winner. Best Director, Christopher Nolan got a nomination. Best Screenplay, Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer. And Best Actor, Christian Bale are the winners. Saturn Awards, Best Supporting Actor, Liam Neeson. Best Supporting Actress, Katie Holmes. Best Costume, Lindy Hemming. Best Score, Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard. Best Visual Effects, Best DVD and Blu-ray collection, all got nominations. Best Fantasy Film, Best Actor Christian Bale, Best Writing Christopher Nolan, David S. Goyer are the winners. Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. Best Supporting Actor Liam Neeson, Best Supporting Actress Katie Holmes, Best Director Christopher Nolan, Best Music James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer, Best Costume Lindy Hemming, Best Special Effects Janik Sirs, Dan Glass, Chris Corbold, and Paul J. Franklin all got nominations. Um, African American Film Critics Association top 10 films, ninth place, got the win. American Society of Cinematographers, outstanding achievement in cinematography and theatrical releases. Wally Feister got the nomination. ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards. Top box office films: James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer, Rainin the Jawadi got the win. Awards Circuit Community Awards. Best Cinematography, Wally Feister, second place. Black Movie Awards, Outstanding performance by an actor in a supporting role, Morgan Freeman. British Society of Cinematographers, Best Cinematography Award, Wally Feister. Broadcast Film Critics Association Awards, favorite film franchise. Um, Central Ohio Film Critics Association Best Picture, Chicago Film Critics Association Awards, Best Original Score, Hans Zimmer, James Newton Howard, DVD Exclusive Awards, Best Games and Interactivities, Warner, Best New Movie Scenes, Warner, Empire Awards, Best thriller, best director, best actor, of course, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale. Sound editing, mixing, David Evans, Stephen Henricks, and Peter Lindsay. Um, Gold Derby Awards, sound editing, mixing, David Evans, Stephen Henricks, and Peter Lindsay. Golden Raspberry Awards, Worst Supporting Actress, Katie Holmes. Damn. Yeah, Katie Holmes got got the nomination for Worst Supporting Actress. I didn't know they still make those. Anyway, um, best DVD Blu-ray of the year, favorite movie of the year, um, got the got the win. Best director of the year, Christopher Nolan. Best screenplay of the year, Christopher Nolan, David S. Goyer. Biggest surprise of the year, um, The Dark Knight. Best actor of the year, Christian Bale. Golden Golden Schmoes Awards. Breakthrough Performance of the Year, Cecilian Murphy. Coolest Character of the Year, Batman. Best music in the movie. Best no, excuse me, Favorite movie poster of the year. Best trailer of the year. Best DVD Blu-ray of the year. Best action sequence of the year. Best action um summer 2005 blockbuster for the Golden Trailer Awards. All got the nomination. Hollywood Film Awards sound of the year. David Evans is the winner. Hugo Awards Best Dramatic Presentation got the nomination. 2013 IGN Summer Movie Awards Best Movie Blu-ray is the winner. International Film Music Critics Award Best Original Score for an action adventure film, Hans Zimmer, James Newton Howard. International Online Cinema Awards Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing. International Film Award Best International Actor, Christian Bale. Um, Irish Film and Television Awards Best International Film, Christian Bale. Best Supporting Actor in a Feature Film, Cecilian Murphy. Best International Film, Christopher Nolan. Italian Online Movie Awards Best Supporting Actor, Michael Caine. Best Special Effects, um, London Critics Circle Film Awards. British Supporting Actor of the Year, Cecilian Murphy. British Director of the Year, Christopher Nolan. Um, Motion Picture Sound Editors. Best Sound Editing in Feature Film, Foreign. Best Sound Editing in Feature Film. Best Sound Editing in Feature Film, Foreign. All got the nominations. MTV Movie and TV Awards. Best Hero, Christian Bale's the winner. Best Villain, Cecilian Murphy. Best Movie, um, Online Film and Television Association. Best Sound Mixing. Best Sound Mixing. Best Sound Effects Editing. Um, Online Film Critics Society Awards. Best Original Score, James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer. Uh, People's Choice Awards, favorite movie drama, all got the nominations. Phoenix Film Critics Society Awards, Best Stunts is the winner. Um, Rondo Hatton Classic Horror Awards, Best Film, Christopher Nolan. Satellite Awards, Outstanding Overall DVD. Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America, Best Script, all got the nominations. Scream Awards, The Ultimate Scream, Best Director Christopher Nolan, Best Screenplay, Best Heroic Performance Christian Bale. Hold on, yeah. Yeah, wait. Ultimate Screen, Best Director Christopher Nolan, Best Screenplay are the winners. Most Heroic Performance Christian Bale. 2005 SFX Awards. Best Director Christopher Nolan. 2016 Choice Awards. Uh, Movies Choice Sleazebag Cecilian Murphy. Choice Summer Movie. Visual Effects Society Awards Outstanding Creative Environment in a Live Action Motion Picture. Um, and World Soundtrack Awards Best Original um, Soundtrack of the Year James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer. Um, Outstanding Creative Environment in a Live Action Motion Picture. All got the nominations. Okay. All right. So, how much time we got here? Oh, we over an hour. Okay, we good. All right, so we got time to look over. We got time to look over the Dark Knight. Hold on a sec. Yeah, the Dark Knight. All right. The Dark Knight is a 2008 superhero film directed by Christopher Nolan from a screenplay he co-wrote with his brother Jonathan, based on the DC Comics superhero Batman. It is the sequel to Batman Begins and the second installment in the Dark Knight trilogy. In the film's plot, the superhero vigilante Batman, police lieutenant James Gordon, and district attorney Harvey Dent form an alliance to dismantle organized crime in Gotham City. But their efforts are derailed by the intervention of an an arch an artistic mastermind, the Joker, who seeks to test how far Batman will go to save the city from complete chaos. The assembled cast includes Christian Bale, Michael Caine, the late great Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, um, Eric Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Morgan Freeman. Okay, and the budget was $185 million. In the box office, it did $1.006 billion. Warner Brothers prioritized a sequel following the successful reinvention of the Batman franchise with Batman Begins. Nolan developed the core story elements alongside Begins co-writer David S. Goyer, making Dent the central protagonist and tragic hero caught in the battle between Batman and the Joker. In writing the screenplay, the Nolans were influenced by various 1980s Batman comics and crime drama films while continuing the heightened reality tone of Begins. Filming took place from April to November 2007 on a $185 million budget on location in Chicago, Hong Kong, and on sets in England. The Dark Knight is the first major motion picture film with high resolution IMAX cameras. Nolan avoided using computer generated imagery unless necessary, insisting on practical stunts, including flipping an 18-wheel truck and blowing up a factory. Um, the Dark Knight was marketed with an innovative, interactive viral campaign that partially focused on countering the initial backlash to Ledger's casting by those who believed he was a poor choice to portray the iconic character. Ledger died from an accidental drug overdose in January 2008, leading to a widespread attention from the press and public regarding his performance. Released in July, The Dark Knight broke several box office records and went on to become the highest grossing film of the year, fourth highest grossing film of its time, and the highest grossing superhero film. It received critical acclaim for its mature tone and themes, visual style, and performances, particularly Ledger's for what no, excuse me, for which he received several posthumous awards, including an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making The Dark Knight the first comic book film to receive a major Academy Award. Since its release, The Dark Knight has been assessed as one of, if not the greatest superhero films ever made, one of the best films of the 2000s, and among the best films ever made. Excuse me. It was considerably influential on films eager to emulate its success by emulating its gritty and realistic tone to varying degrees of success, and is considered the blueprint for the modern superhero films, particularly for rejecting a comic book style for a game film that happens to feature comic book um, characters. The the Dark Knight has been analyzed for its themes regarding terrorism, as well as on the limitations of morality and ethics. The United States Library of Congress selected it for present preservation in the National Film Registry in 2020. The film was followed by Dark Knight Rises, which I will review next in 2012, concluding the Dark Knight trilogy. The reception. The Dark Knight received critical acclaim on release on Rotten Tomatoes. The film holds a 94% approval rating from the aggregated reviews of 345 critics, with an average score of 8.6 out of 10. The consensus reads dark, complex, and unforgettable. The Dark Knight succeeds not just as an entertaining comic book film, but as a richly thrilling crime saga. The film has a score of 84 out of 100 on Metacritic, based on 39 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale. Several publications called The Dark Knight the best comic book hero adaptation ever made, with Roger Ebert saying that alongside Iron Man, it had redefined the potential for superhero films, in part by combining comic book tropes with real world events. Although the although some appreciated its portrayal of a complex moral tale about the effects of vigilantism and terrorism on contemporary society, others took issue with the dark, grim, intense, and self-serious tone that removed from it any elements of fun or fantasy. Um, David Danby concluded the Dark Knight was the product of a time of terror, but focused on embracing and unleashing it while cynically setting up the next installment. Zacharek and David Eldenstein criticized a perceived lack of visual storytelling, with exposition used to explain events not shown on screen, as well as other aspects of this plot being difficult to follow amid the fast pace and loud score. Nolan's uh, action direction was criticized, especially during fast paced fight scenes where it was difficult to see what is occurring. Although the opening bank heist set piece was roundly praised as among the film's best. Ledger's performance received near unanimous praise from reviewers who acknowledged the actor's unexpected death had made the role both highly anticipated and difficult to watch. The New York Times Manola Dargis, among others, described Ledger as realizing the character is so convincingly intense and viscerally that it draws the audience in, making them forget about the actor behind the makeup with the village voice. Um, Writing that the performance would have made the actor a legend even if he had lived. Other reviews contrasted him favorably with previous well-received Joker actor Jack Nicholson, describing his um, macabre macabre um, humor and malevolence as outshining Nicholson's magnificent performance. Reviews generally agreed the Joker was the Dark Knight's best written character, through which Ledger commanded scenes from the entire cast, even charisma blaster Eric Roberts, to create one of the most mesmerizing cinematic villains ever. Critics considered the memorable performance to be simultaneously scary and unsettling, while being mesmerizing, artful, and forceful without ever becoming too much. Even so, Salon.com Stephanie Zakaric la- lamented that his performance was not in service to a better film. Reception to Bale was more mixed, with some reviews considering his performance captivating or serviceable, but ultimately uninteresting and undermined in portraying an immovable character, mostly unchanged since Batman Begins, who delivers dialogue as Batman in a hoarse, unvarying tone. Eckhart's performance was generally well received by reviewers who appreciated his portrayal of the charismatic Dent and his transformation into a sad, bitter monster, although Variety considered the character's subplot to be the film's weakest point. Stephen Hunter believed the character was underwritten, and Eckhart incapable of portraying the role as intended. Gyllenhaal was seen by several reviewers as an improvement over Holmes, although others believed it was still difficult to care about the character and that the actress, while more talented than her predecessor, was miscast. Peter Travers praised Oldman's skill in making a virtuous character interesting, um, and he um, among others, described Kane's and Freeman's performances were described as effortless. Ebert surmised that the entire cast provided powerful performances that engaged the audience, such that were surprised how deeply the drama affects us. Now we go to the accolades and awards. So, The Dark Knight appeared on several lists recognizing the best films of 2008, includes those compiled by Ebert, the Hollywood Reporter, and the American Film Institute, as well as being the year's most pirated film with about 7 million illegal downloads. At the 13th Satellite Awards, The Dark Knight received one award for sound editing or mixing. Um, For a further four wins came at the 35th People's Choice Awards for favorite movie, favorite cast, favorite action movie, and favorite on-screen matchup. Bale and Ledger, as well as best action movie and best supporting actor. Ledger at the 14th Critics' Choice Awards. Howard and Zimmer were recognized for Best Motion Picture Score at the 51st Annual Grammy Awards. Ledger won the film's only awards at the 15th Screen Actors Guild Awards, 62nd British Academy Film Awards and 66 Golden Globe Awards for Best Supporting Actor. Okay. Um. Yeah. Let me see. At the 14th Empire Awards, The Dark Knight received awards for Best Director Nolan, and Best Actor Bale. Ledger received the award for Best Villain at the 2009 MTV Movie Awards and at the 35th Saturn Awards. The Dark Knight won awards for Best Action or Adventure Film, Best Supporting Actor, Ledger, Best Writing, Christopher and Jonathan Nolan. Hold on a minute here. Yeah. Um, yeah, Best Actor. Hold on. Yeah, Best Actor Ledger, Best Writing Christopher and Jonathan Nolan, Best Music Howard and Zimmer, and Best Special Effects Core Build Nick Davis, Paul J. Franklin, Timothy Weber. Um, even before the Dark Knight's release, film industry discourse focused on Ledger potential. Wait, hold on. What is it? Potentially earning the Academy Award nomination at the 81st Academy Awards in 2009, making him only the seventh person to be nominated posthumously, and if the decision would be influenced by his passing or performance. Genre films, such as those based on comic books, were also generally ignored by Academy voters. Even so, Ledger was considered a favorable to earn the award based on praise from critic groups and his posthumous Golden Globe Award. Um, Let me see. Yeah, Ledger won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him only the second performer to win an award posthumously. And yeah, posthumous. Yeah. The Dark Knight, the first comic book adaptation to win a major Academy Award. The Dark Knight also won an award for Best Sound Editing. Um, King and received 6 nominations for Best Sound Mixing. Um, Hirschberg, Rizzo, and Ed Novins. Best Visual Effects, Davis, Corbill, Weber, and Franklin. Best Makeup, Caglion Jr. and O'Sullivan. Best Film Editing, Smith. Best Cinematography, Feister. And Best and Academy Award for Best Production Design, Crowley and Peter Lando. Oh boy. Um, Despite the success of Dark Knight, the lack of a Best Picture nomination was criticized and described as a snub by some publications. The response was seen as a culmination of several years of criticism toward the Academy ignoring high performing, broadly popular films. The backlash was such that for the 82nd Academy Awards in 2010, the Academy increased the limit for Best Picture nominees from 5 to 10, allowing for more broadly popular but respected films to be nominated, including District 9, The Blind Side, Avatar, and Up, the first animated film to be nominated in 2 decades. This change is seen as responsible for the first Best Picture nomination um, of a comic book adaptation, of course, Black Panther 2018. Even so, the Hollywood Reporter argued the Academy mistook the appeals to recognize important generation defining genre films with just nominating more films. Um, all right, all right. Okay. Um, hold on one second. Okay. All right. Up next is The Dark Knight Rises, which is a 2012 superhero film directed by Christopher Nolan, who co-wrote the screenplay with his brother Jonathan Nolan, and the story with David S. Goyer, based on the DC Comics character Batman. It is the final installment in Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy and a sequel to The Dark Knight 2008. The film stars Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne and Batman, alongside Tom Hardy, Gary Oldman, Marion Cotillard, Morgan Freeman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Caine, and Anne Hathaway. 8 years after the events of The Dark Knight, the revolutionary Bane forces Bruce Wayne to resume his role as Batman and save Gotham City from nuclear destruction. All right, so the budget was 250 to 300 million dollars gross and 250 million net, and in the box office it made 1.081 billion dollars. Christopher Nolan was hesitant about returning to the series for a third film, but agreed after developing a story with his brother and Goyer that he felt um, would conclude the series on a satisfactory note. Nolan drew inspiration from Bane's comic book debut in the 1993 Nightfall story. The 1986 series The Dark Knight Returns, uh, and the 1999 storyline No Man's Land. The filming took place from May to November 2011 in locations including um Japan, London, Nottingham, Glasgow, Los Angeles, New York City, New York, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nolan used IMAX 70 millimeter film cameras for much of the filming, including the first 6 minutes of the film, to optimize the quality of the picture. A vehicle variation of the Batplane and Batcopter termed the Bat, an underground prison set, and a new Batcave set were created specifically for the film. As with The Dark Knight, viral marketing campaigns began early during production. When filming concluded, Warner Brothers refocused its campaign on developing promotional websites, releasing the first 6 minutes of the film, screening theatrical trailers, and sending out information regarding the film's plot. The Dark Knight Rises premiered in New York City on July 16, 2012. The film was released in the United States and the United Kingdom on July 20th, 2012. The film received positive reviews, with praise being directed toward the performances, um, particularly Hardy's. Action sequences, direction, screenplay, musical score, and emotional depth, with many critics deeming it a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. The film grossed over $1 billion worldwide, making it the second film in the Batman film series to earn $1 billion. In addition to being Nolan's highest grossing film, it became the seventh highest grossing film of the time of its release, as well as the third highest grossing film of 2012. It was named one of the top 10 films of 2012 by the American Film Institute. It is considered one of the greatest superhero films of all time, as well as one of the best films of the 2010s. Now we go to the reception. Okay, box office. Hours before the midnight release of the film, several box office analysts suggested as much as a 198 million domestic opening weekend. However, in the wake of the mass shooting during a midnight screening of the film, um, Warner Brothers decided to not report further box office figures for the movie until Monday, July 23rd, 2012. As a result, other distributors also delayed the release of their official estimates as well. The shooting is also speculated to have hurt the ticket sales, as E! Online reported that a North Carolina audience member has stated that this theater was kind of empty. Some reports released on July 21st, 2012 said that rival studios estimated that the film grossed 75 million to 77 million dollars on its opening day. Warner Brothers shortly after released a statement to ABC News stating that they delayed the release of their estimates for the opening day total of the film out of respect for the victims and their families, and added Warner Brothers Pictures will not be reporting box office numbers for The Dark Knight Rises throughout the weekend. Box office numbers will be released on Monday. Um The Dark Rise, the Dark Knight Rises earned 448.1 million dollars in North America. Um, hang on a second here. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Where was I? Where was I on this opening weekend? Hold on. Yeah. Wait. Where was I? Um. Wait. It's opening weekend. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the Dark Knight Rises earned 448.1 million in North America and 632.9 million in other countries, summing up to a worldwide total of $1.081 billion. Worldwide, it became the seventh highest grossing film of all time and the highest grossing film of 2012. It had a worldwide opening weekend of $248.9 million. The film set a worldwide IMAX opening weekend record with $23.8 million, overtaken by Avengers Age of Ultron, and also broke the record for the fastest movie to make over $50 million in IMAX theaters. IMAX CEO Richard L. Gelford explained this by claiming audiences are clearly seeking out and embracing the film the way it was meant to be seen in IMAX. On the 2012 Labor Day weekend, it became the third film distributed by Warner Brothers and the 13th film in cinematic history to cross a $1 billion mark. The film also became the second movie after Avatar to reach $100 million in worldwide IMAX grosses. North America, The Dark Knight Rises opened on Friday, July 20th, 2012. It earned an estimated 30.6 million in midnight showings, which was the second highest midnight gross behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, $43.5 million. It did, however, set an IMAX midnight gross record with 2.3 million, overtaken by hang on a second. Yeah, overtaken. Wait. Hold on. Overtaken. Wait, where did I hold on. Hold on. Wait, yeah, overtaken by Avengers Age of Ultron. Yeah. The film made 75.8 million during its opening day, achieving at the time the gross the third highest single and opening day tally of all time. On July 23rd, 2012, it was announced that the film grossed $160.9 million for its debut weekend, which was the third highest opening weekend ever at the time, behind Marvel's The Adventures, $207.4 million, and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, $169.2 million. However, it did set an opening weekend record for a 2D film previously held by The Dark Knight, and an IMAX opening weekend record with $19.0 million previously held by Marvel's The Avengers. The film also held the top spot at the box office for its second and third weekends. In North America, it is the 13th highest grossing film, the second highest grossing 2012 film, as well as the sixth highest grossing superhero film and film based on comics. Box Office Mojo estimates that the film sold more than 55 million tickets in the US. Other territories outside North America, the film opened with 88.0 million from 7,173 theaters in just 17 markets. It was in first place at the box office outside North America for 4 consecutive weekends. Its three largest markets are the UK, Ireland, and Malta. $90.3 million, where it is the highest grossing superhero film. China, $52.8 million, and Australia, $44.2 million. Critical response: The Dark Knight Rises received highly positive reviews from critics. Many have named it one of the best films of 2012 and one of the best superhero films of all time. Film review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave The Dark Knight Rises an approval rating of 87% based on 372 reviews and a rating average of 8 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, hold on, it reads, hang on a second. It reads, wait. It reads, The Dark Knight's Rises is an ambitious, thoughtful, and potent action film that concludes Christopher Nolan's franchise in spectacular fashion. Metacritic, another review aggregator, assigned the film a weighted average score of 78 out of 100 based on 45 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Hold on. Okay. Cinema Score reported that audiences gave the film an average grade of A on an A plus to F scale. Robbie Collin of the Daily Telegraph granted the film a maximum score of 5 stars, stating that it is a superhero film without a superhero, comparing it with The Godfather Part 2, and praising Hardy's performance as well as the film's intricate plot and narrative. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times thought the film was potent, persuasive, and hypnotic, and that it was more than an exceptional superhero movie. It is masterful filmmaking by any standard. The playlist, Todd Gilchrist wrote, a cinematic, cultural, and personal triumph. The Dark Knight Rises is emotionally inspiring, aesthetically significant, and critically important for America itself as a mirror of both sober reflection and resilient hope. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, noting similarities in tone and the theme to Batman Begins over the trilogy's second installment, The Dark Knight, but also describing Bane as that bit less interesting to watch than Ledger's Joker. Um, Despite praising his menacing voice and body language driven performance. The Guardian scored the film 4 out of 5 stars, calling it a film of granite monolithic intensity, yet also calling it a hammy hammy pretentious affair. Andrew O'Hare um of Salon writes, if The Dark Knight Rises is a fastest film, it's a great fastest film, and arguably the biggest, darkest, most thrilling and disturbing and utterly balls out spectacle ever created for the screen. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, stating the film begins slowly with a murky plot and too many new characters, but builds to um, a sensational climax. The film critic Richard Roper gave the film an A, calling it a majestic, gorgeous, brutal, and richly satisfying epic, and citing the final scenes of the picture as the best 5 minutes of any film this year. The London Film Review gave the film a B and said Nolan's film is a reminder that superheroes aren't merely a frivolous distraction, but an embodiment of our best selves. The film was crowned by Forbes as the best modern comic book superhero adaptation on screen, outranking both its main summer blockbuster competitor, Marvel's The Avengers, and the trilogy's previous installment, The Dark Knight. It was selected for the American Film Institute's top 10 films of 2012, in addition to being on over 140 top 10 end of the year list. CNN's Tom Charity said the film was a disappointingly clunky and bombastic conclusion to the Superior series and called it Nolan's worst film. Anthony Lane of the New Yorker says that the story is dense, overlong, and studded with references that will make sense only to those intimate with Nolan's previous excursions into Batmanhood. In reaction to fan backlash to some of the negative reviews, um, Rotten Tomatoes chose to disable user commentary for the film leading up to its release. Some fans had threatened violence against critics, while others threatened to take down the websites of movie critics who had given the film a negative review. In 2014, Empire Magazine ranked The Dark Knight Rises the 72nd greatest film ever made on their list of the 301 greatest movies of all time as voted by the magazine's readers. In a poll of 1,000 British adults by Virgin Media in 2018, the film came in eighth place for People's Choice of Favorite Superhero Movie. Total Film named it the 48th best film of the 2010s. Dana Deek ranked it number 61 on their list of the best um, movies of the decade. Film critics Richard Roper and Roll Khan of the Chicago Sun-Times for their best movies of the decade podcast ranked The Dark Knight Rises among their list of the best action movies of the decade. In 2019, on a poll held by Lad Bible, The Dark Knight Rises was voted as the best film of the decade 2010 to 2019. The Daily Telegraph has frequently named it number one on their list of their 25 best superhero films of all time. And it was featured on their list of the 100 greatest films of all time in 2018. In 2011, Aidan Gillen's character in the film, CIA operative Bill Wilson, became the subject of an internet meme popular among 4chan users known as Bane posting. Oh shit. Um which references the dialogue between Wilson and Bane in the film's opening plane scene. Fucking Bane posting. Oh man, that's crazy funny, man. Yeah. Um, all right, so writing in Salon, David Sirota, a progressive political commentator, compared The Dark Knight Rises and the game Call of Duty to 1980s popular culture, reflecting the political period of the time, accusing them of perpetrating a conservative agenda, just as so many 1980s pop culture products reflected the spirit of the Reagan Revolution's conservative backlash are now seeing two blockbusters genre shaping products not so subtly reflect the Tea Party's rhetorical backlash to the powerful Occupy Wall Street zeitgeist. An article in Variety reported Chuck Dixon, the co-creator of the Bane character, as saying that Bane is far more akin to an Occupy Wall Street type if you are looking to cast him politically. Catherine Short of the center left British publication The Guardian said the film is a quite audaciously capitalist vision, radically conservative, radically vigilante, that advances a serious, stirring proposal that the fulfillment of the wealthy is to be championed if they say they want to do good. In contrast, liberal commentator Jonathan Chait opened in New York that what passes for a right ring movie these days is The Dark Knight Rises, which submits the rather modest premise that irritating though the rich may be, actually killing them and taking all their stuff might be excessive. Writing in USA Today, Brian Alexander called Bane the ultimate occupier and reported that Christian Bale was amazed that the script had foreseen the Occupy movement. Hold on. Nolan has denied the film criticizes the Occupy movement and insists that none of his Batman films are intended to be political. I've had as many conversations with people who have seen the film the other way around. We throw a lot of things against the wall to see if it sticks. We put a lot of interesting questions in the air, but that's simply a backdrop for the story. What what we're really trying to do is show the cracks of society, show the conflicts that somebody would try to wedge open, with going to get wildly different interpretations of what the film is supporting and not supporting, but it's not doing any of those things. It's just telling a story. If you are saying you have made a film that's supposed to be criticizing the Occupy Wall Street movement, well, obviously that's not true. Alternately, Alternatively, politically conservative commentator Rush Limbaugh alleged that the film was biased against 2012 Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney due to Bain's name being a homophone for Bain Capital, the financial service company Romney used to head, despite the fact that the character has existed as a major Batman foe since 1993. In response, Nolan said that the comments were bizarre, while Dixon and Freeman said that the comments were ridiculous. Democratic advisor Christopher Lehane has noted that similarities between narratives of the film and the presidential campaign. Slovenian philosopher Slavoj Zizek pointed out that the film was inspired by the French Revolution as portrayed by novelist Charles Dickens. Okay, so AFI Awards 2012, top 10 movies of the year. Emma Thomas, Christopher Nolan, and Charles Woven are the winners. British Academy of Film and Television Arts, Special Visual Effects, Paul Franklin, Chris Colbill, Peter Babb, Andrew Lockley, Best Visual Effects, Best Action Film, Broadcast Film Critics Association, Best Actor in Action Movie, Christian Bell, Best Actress in an Action Movie, Anne Hathaway, all got nominations. BMI Film and TV Award, Film Music, Hans Zimmer, Brit Award, Outstanding Contribution to Music, Hans Zimmer, Top 10 of the Year Audience Award, all won the award. Sin Euphoria Awards. So we had Best Supporting Actor International Competition, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Best Supporting Actress International Competition, Anne Hathaway. Best Original Music International Competition, all got nominations. Denver Film Society Best Original Score, Hans Zimmer is the winner. Empire Awards, Best Film, Best Director, Christopher Nolan, and Hathaway, Best Actress, Best Foreign Language Film, The Dark Knight Rises, got the nomination. Golden Trailer Awards. Okay, so Best in the Show, Chant, Summer 2012 Blockbuster Trailer, Chant, Best International Poster, UK Quad, Best Summer 2012 Blockbuster Poster, Teaser One, Sheet City, are the winners. Best Teaser Poster, Teaser One, Sheet City. Grammy Awards, Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media are nominated. Hollywood Film Awards, Cinematographer of the Year, Wally Pfister. Actress of the Year, Marion Cotillard, also for Rust and Bone. Best Movie, Best Comic Book Adaptation, IGN Award, Best Movie Actress, Anne Hathaway, also for Les Miserables, film 2012, Best Movie Trailer. So International Online Film Critics Poll, Best Visual Effects, Chris Corbill and Paul Franklin, Visual Effects Supervisor. They are the winners. Best Cinematography, Wally Pfister, Best production design, Nathan Crawley and Kevin Kavanagh. Um, um, Kids Choice Awards, favorite female kickbucker. No butt kicker. Sorry, sorry about that. Um, Anne Hathaway um got the nomination. Los Angeles Film Critics Association Best Supporting Actress, Anne Hathaway is the runner up. Um, MTV Movie Awards, Best Movie, Best Hero, um, Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, Best Villain, Marion Cotillard, Best Villain, Tom Hardy, Best Fight, Christian Bale and Tom Hardy, Best Shirtless Performance, Christian Bale, uh, Favorite Face of Heroism, Anne Hathaway, People's Choice Awards, favorite movie franchise, Phoenix Film Critics Society, Best Film Editing, all got the nomination. SESC Film Festival Best Foreign Film is the winner. Satellite Awards Best Visual Effects, Chris Colbill, Paul Franklin, Best Art Direction, and hold on. Yeah, Best Direction, no, Best Art Direction and Production Design. Nathan Crawley, Kevin Kavanagh, James Hambridge, um, and Naman Marshall, Best Action Adventure Film, Best Director, Christopher Nolan, Best Actor, Christian Bale, Saturn Awards, Best Supporting Actor, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, all got nominations. Supporting Actress, Anne Hathaway is the winner. Best Music, Hans Zimmer got the nomination. Scream Awards, Most Anticipated Movie is the winner. Screen Actors Guild Awards, Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture got the nomination. SFX Awards UK, Best Actress Anne Hathaway. St. Louis Getaway Film Critics Association, Best Music, Choice Movie Action, Choice Movie Actor Action, Christian Bale got the nomination. Teen Choice Awards, Choice Movie Actress Anne Hathaway is the winner. Choice Movie Scene Stealer, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Choice Villain, Best Villain, Tom Hardy. Visual Effects Society Awards, Outstanding Models in a Feature Motion Picture, Scott Beverly, Alan Fulcher, Ian Hunter, Steve Newburn for Airplane Heist. All got the nominations. Taurus World Stunt Awards, Best Specialty Stunt, Best Stunt Rigging are the winners. And Young Artist Award, Best Performance in a Feature Film, supporting young actress Joey King got the nomination. Okay, so all right, so here we go. Now the latest film that recently came out recently is the 2022 of the Batman movie. Batman is a 2022 American superhero film based on the DC Comics character Batman, produced by Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Films 6 and Idaho and Dylan Clark Productions, and distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. It is a reboot of the Batman film franchise. The film was directed by Matt Reeves, who wrote the screenplay with Peter Craig. It also stars Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, Batman, alongside Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright, John Turturro, Peter Sarsgaard, Andy Serkis, and Colin Farrell. The film sees Batman, who has been fighting crime in Gotham City for 2 years, uncover corruption while pursuing the Riddler, a serial killer who targets Gotham's elite. Um, okay, so the budget was 185 to $200 million. In the box office, it did $770.3 million. Okay, so development began after Ben Affleck was cast as Batman in the DC Extended Universe in 2013. Affleck assigned on to direct, produce, co-write, and star in the Batman, but had reservations about the project and dropped out. Reeves took over and reworked the story, removing the DCEU connections. He sought to explore Batman's detective side more than previous films, drawing inspiration from the films of Alfred Hitchcock and the New Hollywood era, and comics such as Year One, The Long Halloween, and Ego. Pattinson was cast in May 2019, with further casting in late 2019. Principal for photography took place in the UK and Chicago between January 2020 and March 2021. The Batman premiered at Lincoln Center, New York on March 1st, 2022 of this year, and was theatrically released worldwide on March 4th. It was delayed twice from an initial June 2021 release due to the COVID-19 slamdemic. The film was the film grossed over $770 million against a 185 to $200 million budget, making it the second highest grossing film of 2022. It received praise for the performances, score, cinematography, Reeves' direction, action sequences, and the story. Although the runtimes received some criticism, The Batman is intended to launch a Batman shared universe with two sequels planned and two spin-off television series in development for HBO Max. Okay, so we have so the box office. As of May 30th, 2022, the Batman has grossed $369.3 million in the United States and Canada and $401 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $770.3 million. It is the second highest grossing film of 2022, as well as the highest grossing serial killer film. The film's IMAX performance helped raise its overall first quarter revenues, which is $60 million, by 55%, and its global box office of $173.2 million by 57% from the same period in 2021. In the US and Canada, the Batman was projected to gross $150 to $170 million from 4,417 theaters in its opening weekend, and around $330 to $475 million for its total domestic box office. Tickets for the advanced IMAX screening sold out within a day of going on sale on February 8th, 2022. The film made $57 million on its first day in the US and Canada, which included $17.6 million from Thursday night previews and $4 million from Tuesday and Wednesday advanced screenings. It grossed $134 million in its opening weekend, becoming the second slandemic era film to gross over um 100 million in the US and Canada in its opening weekend. After Spider-Man No Way Home 2021, it also became Warner Brothers' highest grossing slandemic era film domestically in just 3 days. More than 65% of the audience in the opening weekend was male, while more than 60% were in the age range of 18 to 34 years old. The film grossed $66.5 million in its second weekend, dropping 50% and staying atop the box office. Yes. The third weekend saw it gross 36.7 million, a fall of 45%, while also making it the second film in the Slandemic era to make more than $300 million in the U.S. and Canada. In the fourth weekend, it was displaced to the second spot by Lost City, earning 20.5 million for a drop of 44%. In South Korea, the Batman opened to $1.7 million, the biggest opening in the country in 2022. Through March 2nd, it had earned 5.3 million across 8 countries. In France, it earned 2.1 million, the highest opening for 2022. Through March 4th, it had made an estimated 54 million in 74 countries outside of the United States and Canada. In the United Kingdom, it opened to 6.4 million, the second highest opening in the country during the Slandemic. It had the second highest Slandemic opening in Spain as well, earning 1.2 million. It grossed around 124.2 million by the end of the week in 74 countries outside the US and Canada, and ranked first in 73 of them during the weekend. It earned 22.3 million globally in IMAX theaters, the second highest opening weekend for the chain since December 2019. This was also the highest opening for a movie outside the US and Canada in 2022, the highest for Warner in the Slandemic era, as well as the third biggest overall during the Slandemic. In addition, it had the second highest opening weekend in the Slandemic era in 16 countries, including the UK, $18.1 million, Mexico, $12.1 million, Australia, $9.3 million, Brazil, $8.8 million, France, 8.4 million, Germany, 5.1 million, South Korea, 4.4, Italy, 4.1 million, Spain, 3.7 million, and India, $3.4 million. It also earned the biggest opening weekend for Warner Brothers in 62 countries during the Slandemic, and its biggest ever opening weekend in 7 countries. The film earned 66.6 million from 76 markets other than the US and Canada in its sophomore weekend, for a drop for 42%, including a 3.2 million opening in Japan. The film reached the 500 million milestone on March 17, becoming the 8th Slamdemic era film to do so, while also becoming Warner Brothers' highest grossing film during the Slandemic era. In its third weekend, it made $49.1 million in countries other than the US and Canada, a drop of 46%. In China, it opened to a $11.8 million weekend, according to Artisan Gateway, while 30 to 43% of the theaters were closed. The best opening in the country for an American film in 2012, acquiring the top position at the box office. It grossed $25.3 million during the fourth weekend, for a fall of 49% including 3.1 million in China, where it was displaced by Moonfall. It crossed the 750 million milestone on April 17th, becoming the 5th Slamdemic era film to do so. with the highest running total countries being the UK, 53.2 million, Mexico, 30.7 million, Australia, 27 million, France, 25.9 million, Brazil, 22.6 million, China, 22.5 million, Germany, 18.9 million, Spain, 11.8, Italy, 11.2 million, and Japan, $10 million. Critical response. On the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the Batman holds an approval rating of 85% on 489 reviews, with an average rating of 7.6 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads a grim, gritty, and gripping super noir. The Batman ranks among the Dark Knight's bleakest and most thrillingly ambitious live action outings. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 72 out of 100, based on 68 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale, while those at Post Track gave it an 87% positive score, with 71% saying they would definitely recommend it. Yeah. IGN contributor Alex Stedman gave a 10 out of 10 rating, writing in quote, "The Batman is a gripping, gorgeous, and at times genuinely scary psychological crime thriller that gives Bruce Wayne the grounded detective story he deserves." Adam Naiman, the Ringer, gave the film a mostly positive review, but criticized some aspects of the film, particularly the final act. However, he stated that the Batman is the Batman movie we deserve, though overwrought and overlong, but also carefully crafted and exhilarating. It's just good enough to wish it were better, a lavish piece of intellectual property that ultimately prices itself out of providing cheap thrills. Writing for the National, Jason Mottram called the film one of the darkest and most compelling comic book movies of the modern era, while praising the performances, action sequences, and story. Digital Spy reviewer Ian Sandwell praised the performances and felt that it's easy to get Batman wrong, but Reeves never even threatened to do so. The Batman is an enthralling, chilling, and fresh new take on the iconic DC hero that'll leave you desperate for another visit to this impeccably crafted world. Clarice, um, Clarice Logri, of the Independent, gave the film a rating of 4 out of 5, and wrote Matt Reeves' take on the Cape Crusader may not be a genre-defining miracle, but it delivers a tapered-down, intimate portrait, while Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman brings an almost extinct sensuality to the role. From The Hollywood Reporter, David Rooney praised the film for being unique and stated that this ambitious reboot is grounded in a contemporary reality where institutional and political distrust breeds an unhinged vigilantism, but felt that Reeves' film hammers home the realization that somewhere uh, along the line, someone, probably Christopher Nolan, decided that Batman movies should no longer be fun. Peter DeBruge at Variety also praised the film, highlighting the film's grounded and noir take on Batman, and praised the film for its willingness to dismantle and interrogate the very concept of superheroes. Alex Abad Santos of Vox gave the film a positive review and wrote the film realizes the character's greatness in a classic noir detective story and that the film enriches Batman's legacy, complicating it by trusting its audience to interrogate his heroism and eventually ponder what makes Batman a hero or if he's even a hero at all. Um, Peter Bradshaw, The Guardian, praised the performances but felt that inevitably night falls on the latest Batman iteration with the cloudy sense that, of course, nothing has really been at stake. Richard Richard Brody at the New Yorker gave a more critical review, praising the first 2 hours of the film and the intricacy of the movie's intertwined plots, but ultimately criticized the characters as he felt that they were reduced to a handful of traits and a backstory defined solely by their function in the plot. And Hornaday from the Washington Post rates. Oh shit. Rated the film 1.5 of 4 stars, criticizing the film for its dark visuals and its lengthy runtime, calling it yet another um lugubrious lugubriously grim slog masquerading as a fun comic book movie. Similarly, A.O. Scott of the New York Times also criticized the film for its dark visuals, in addition to saying the film has too much exposition, but praised the performances from the cast of uh, uh, Giacchino's score, and ultimately concluded by stating, I can't say I had a good time, but I did end up somewhere I didn't expect to be. Looking forward to the next chapter. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle also gave a negative review, criticizing the film for its political commentary, drawing comparisons to that of Joker 2019. But he also praised some of the performances, writing in sight and sound. Newman gave the unenthusiastic review, criticizing the film's length and felt the secondary characters such as Lieutenant Gordon, Selena Kyle, Alfred, and Payman were underdeveloped and subordinate to the case, though he praised Patterson's performance and detective-oriented Batman. All right, um, so Golden Trailer Awards, July 22nd, 2021. Best teaser, um, best motion title graphics, best sound um editing, statement advertisement, no advertising, uh Diva Studios Incorporated statement advertising, best movie, the Batman MTV Movie and TV Awards, June 5th, 2022. Best performance in a movie, Robert Pattinson. Best villain, Colin Farrell. Best kiss, Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even well. So let's see. So wait, tie in. Anyway. Okay, the Batman features class conflict with Marco Vito Otto of Collider, asserting that the main theme is social inequality. Three of the primary characters, um, Batman, the Riddler, and Catwoman, are orphans from different economic backgrounds. Whereas Batman grew up in privilege, the Riddler only knew torment, while Catwoman experienced hardship. The Riddler's frustration with his upbringing leads to him lashing out against the wealthy, reflecting that criminality is born from desperation. J.M. Mature of the AV Club and Susanna Polo of Polygon said the Riddler falls into the trap of villains who are right opping, opening, opening that he is correct to expose corruption that has harmed the unfortunate. Um, um, Krishan Baker of Inverse added that the film never frames the Riddler's frustration as wrong, though Brandon Zachary of Comic Book Resources argued that the Riddler is inherently wrong. To think that change can be achieved through violence, if even if his motivations are understandable. Zachary wrote that Batman, Catwoman, and the Riddler's upbringings give each character a different world view. Batman's is narrow and binary. The Riddler adopts a bitter and cruel method to um, fight corruption that harms innocents, and Catwoman acknowledges the corrupting power of wealth, but only becomes violent when her friends are harmed. The film draws parallels between the three characters, reflecting a popular notion that Batman is similar to his adversaries. Adam Naiman of The Ringer felt the film highlighted the themes of duality between Batman and his foes, and opened that Batman and the Riddler feel like secret siblings rather than two different case studies in forlong orphan psychology. Catwoman and the Riddler make the Batman realize that poverty and inequality are the roots of Gotham's troubles and inspire him to become an agent of hope and use his wealth to prevent social inequality. Baker wrote that the film ends with realizing he has to fight for the will of the people, amongst the very same institutions that makes hollow promises to protect them. This is the dynamic analysis I'm basically reading, actually, folks, in case you're wondering. All right, so all right, so we have the depiction of Batman. Baker said that the previous Batman films tend to reflect right wing themes, with Tim Burton and Christopher Nolan's adaptations respectfully featuring libertarian and vaguely authoritarian depictions of Batman. The Batman departs by questioning Batman's ethics and focusing on his material wealth. Uh, the film highlights that Batman's wealth does not alleviate his suffering, and explores the idea that he should be more philanthropic. Initially, Batman does not realize he is taking his wealth for granted and could be using it to help Gotham. Matua felt the Batman was more direct in addressing the issue than previous Batman films, but circumvents this argument by portraying Thomas Wayne's attempt by philanthropy as only leading to corruption, while Baker felt the film directly addresses the issue by having progressive mayoral candidate Bella Rio confront Bruce about his wealth. Conversely, Naiman argued the film does not focus on his class as much as previous films did, as he depicted as a recluse in the film. Um, The Batman also explores grief, trauma, and the horror of living with post-traumatic stress disorder through Batman. Batman's initial antagonism towards Alfred and apathy towards Catwoman's situation stems from the death of his parents and his inability to communicate with people due to his fear of suffering more emotional pain. His obsession with solving the Riddler's case is a method of coping with the trauma of losing his parents, while his obsession with being Batman is the result of channeling his rage into what Marcus Shorter of bloody disgusting called a dogmatic dedication to his chosen crime fighting craft. The film ends with Batman realizing that he must process his trauma to help improve Gotham. Um, yeah. Um, okay. Batman's relationship with the police differs from previous Batman films. Burton's films depict the police as an incompetent force that Batman supersedes, and Nolan's depict them bending the law to assist Batman. The Batman shows Batman having a hostile relationship with Gotham police who see him as a criminal. Baker said that every time Batman interacts with the police, there's a palpable sense of discomfort to them. Batman represents a level of oversight that they are not used to having to contend with. Baker called this timely, um, given the contemporary American socio-political context, including increased awareness of police brutality. Um, Tie-in media, of course, a prequel novel before the Batman, an original movie novel, was written by David Lumen and released on February 1st, 2022. It explores the origins of Batman and the Riddler. In March, Reeves announced Riddler Year One, a prequel comic book set to be published bi-monthly through DC's adult-oriented Black Label imprint beginning on October 22. The 6-issue limited series is written by Daniel and illustrated by Steven Subic. Um, yeah. Yeah, so I think there's going to wait. Hold on a second. Yeah. Anyway, so I think all right, so let's move on to the animated series. Let me see how much time we got here. Oh my gosh. Did 2 minutes and 31. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the animated series and then I'll get to the all right, so the Batman the animated series is an American superhero animated television series based on the DC Comics superhero Batman developed by Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Mitch Bryan, and produced by Warner Brothers Animation. It was aired on Fox Kids from September 5th, 1992 to September 15th, 1995, with a total of 85 episodes. For the final 20 episodes, the series was given on the on-screen titled The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was also used for reruns of earlier episodes. The series became the first in the continuity of the shared DC animated universe, sparring further animated TV series, features, film, comic books, and video games with most of the same creative talent. It also marked the first DC animated series to be produced by Warner Brothers. Animated animation as DC's prior series like the Batman, Superman Hour, Super Friends, and Swamp Thing were produced by Filmation, Hanna-Barbera, um, and DIC Entertainment, respectively. Um, anyway, so Kevin Conroy, Efren Zabolis Jr., Bob Hastings, Robert Constanzo, Lauren Lester, Mark Hamill, and Arlene Sorkin. Okay, so um, anyway, I don't know if there's any. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into the. Yeah, so the series was praised for its thematic complexity, film noir aesthetics, darker tone, artistic presentation, monetization of its title characters, crime fighting, origins, and voice acting. Most notably, Mark Hamill as the Joker. IGN.com listed Batman the Animated Series as the best adaptation of Batman anywhere outside of the comics, the best comic book television show of all time, and the second best animated series of all time after The Simpsons. Wizard Magazine also ranked it number two of the greatest animated television shows of all time after, again, The Simpsons. Um, TV Guide ranked it the seventh greatest cartoon of all time. The widespread acclaim led the series to win four Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Animated Program. The continuation spin-off of the show titled Batman Beyond premiered in 1999, set in a futuristic Gotham in which an older Bruce Wayne has to train a teenage prodigy, Terry McGinnis, to become the new Batman, with Tim, Dini, and Burnett returning to develop and write the show, as well as Conroy reprising the role of Bruce Wayne. The spin-off spawned a direct-to-video film, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker 2000, where Hamill reprised his role as the Joker. Conroy later reprised the role of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which are also set within the continuity of the show. Another continuation of the series is in development in the form of an audio podcast drama with the cast returning along with writer Alan Burnett. Okay. All right. Our last one is Batman Beyond. All right. Batman Beyond is an American superhero animated television series developed by Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Alan Burnett. It was produced by Warner Brothers Animation in collaboration with DC Comics and is the fourth series in the DC animated universe. The series began airing on January 10th, 1999 and ended its run on December 18th, 2001. In the United Kingdom, it began airing on September 4th, 2000, after 52 episodes spanning 3 seasons and one direct-to-video feature film. The series was brought to an end in favor of the Justice League animated series, and plans for a fourth season were canceled. Voices include Will Friede, Kevin Conroy, Cree Summer, Lauren Tom, Frank Welker, Stockard Channing, and Angie Harmon. All right, so depicting a teenage Batman in a futuristic Gotham City under the uh, tutelage of an elderly Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond is chronologically the final series of the DC animated universe. Despite being released before Static Shock, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, and serves as a continuation of both Batman the Animated Series and the New Batman Adventures. Due to the series taking place in the same universe as Batman the Animated Series, Bruce Timm thought it was ideal to have Kevin Conroy voice the older Batman. Um, Though the initial announcement of this series drew mixed reactions, Batman Beyond went on to receive critical acclaim. And man, come on, man, stop calling it a cult, man. I'm not even gonna say it, man. Fuck that. The show The show is said to explore the darker side of many Batman projects, playing on key elements such as emotions, personal relations, fear of the unknown, as well as cyberpunk and sci-fi themes such as the issues and dilemmas of innovations and technological and scientific progress affecting society and the psychology of the character of Bruce Wayne. In addition, due to the titular character being a high school student, it includes issues that plague teenagers. Um, as such, it was considerably darker than most other children's programs at the time. Although producer Bruce Timm was it was conceived as a kid-friendly Batman cartoon. It is also the first Batman series to portray the hero as the teenager. IGN named the show 40th on their list of top 100 animated TV series. The premise of Batman Beyond has been used in various comic book stories published by DC Comics, including an ongoing series beginning of 2011. All right. Wait. Um. All right. So while the idea of Batman Beyond seemed as if it was or not a proper continuation of the legacy of the Dark Knight, it gathered acclaim as after its release. It has been praised for its dark, mature, and often unsettling storytelling. The show was nominated for four-time Daytime Emmy Awards, two of which it won in 2001 for Outstanding Special Class Animated um, Program and Outstanding Music Direction and Composition. In addition, the show was nominated for five Annie Awards and won two of those nominations in 1999 and 2001. And in 2009, IGN.com named Batman Beyond the 40th best, named the best animated television series of all time. All right. Okay. 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 Let me see. All right. All right, I think that's gonna do it for episode 65. I didn't mean to go over 2 hours, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure I get to the not only the movies but the TV cartoons as well that I grew up watching too. So you like what you heard in today's episode? You can feel free to show some love by making a charitable donation to my Cash App, which is G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. Once again, it's not about breaking the bank. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount you decide that you're comfortable with will be appreciated. Okay, so we're gonna go to a little thing that I like to call stream choices on the go. It's where I actually inform you where you can actually check out where you can actually follow and listen to the episodes of this podcast. Okay, make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Instagram, as well as my other show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition show, and of course my number one show, Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast. Um, I just released episode 154 today, and you can also follow me at G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Feel free to turn on your notifications so you don't miss me in action. So anyway, man, listen. Um, so where you can listen to the episodes, make sure if you have any questions for me or anything like that, you can DM it to me at G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. You can also leave a voice message on anchor.fm/ G Money Stacks, of course, in the link in bio that says Linktree / Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. You go to the link, you go to the page, you're going to see the word message, and you're going to record your voice message on there too, so you can't miss that. So, of course, Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Cashbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. And you can also listen to Meticulous Vibe podcast review show on Radio Public and iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcast. Make sure you follow that show alongside with Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, Sports Edition show, and Off the Meat Rat Chains New York podcast as well. And lastly, but not least, YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button and also tap that noni bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream. More video content, upcoming episodes, along with the latest and previous episodes that's already dropped to the YouTube channel page. And make sure you like, comment, share the episodes, share the videos. Make sure you tell a friend to another friend, and also share the podcast along with your friends. along with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, and of course your friends as well. Also, make sure you listen, stream, download, share, and watch the episodes. Okay. And remember, the grind does not stop. You can't rush the process. You just gotta trust the process. You you not only you not only go through things, but you also are going to grow through things. All right. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and rocking with me on the 65th episode of the Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show. And I will see you in the next episode. All right. And don't let anybody stop you from accomplishing your goals and dreams and stuff. All right. All right. I'm out of here. Thank you. Peace and one love, and have yourselves a nice weekend. And also, by the way, in case you don't know where where MetLife Stadium is, where that's where Summer Jam is going to take place on June 12th in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I forgot to mention that in my New York podcast yesterday. I actually mentioned New Jersey, but I didn't know where exactly. So it's East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's where Summer Jam is going to take place by Hot 97. All right. I'm out of here. Peace and one love. Have yourselves a good night. Have fun. Be careful out there. Good night, folks.